what's up? This is Allie, and this is a Served on Sundays exclusive. So basically, this is like my little creative space in my house. I live here. It's me and my daughter, and so I'm just going to give you guys like a slight tour of what's going on here. So this is my workspace slash office. You see here I have 3 different machines that I use. This is the embroidery machine, so a lot of like the designs where you have like your name on it and like logos and stuff, I use this machine. This is my serger, just for like knits, swimsuits, bras, stuff like that. And then this is just my original baby that I've always had. So basically everything over here, it's like my supplies. This is a whiteboard. It's supposed to be for like your calendar, but my mind be all over the place. So I put everything that I need to do like as a checklist, and I have an assistant too, so she comes in and she writes down my to-do list just to keep me organized and focused, because as creatives we can go all over the place. So yeah, so this is my moving cart too, and it has all of my like packing supplies, sewing materials, dry erase board stuff. And then if we look under here, this is where I keep all of like the mask stuff, like mask supplies, so the elastic, the binding, stuff like that. And then these other drawers just have random stuff in here. Cutting board that I use, because with like blades like these and stuff like that, usually like it'll cut through tables. So this is kind of where like I actually work. And then this is my computer. Shout out to Microsoft Surface Pro. And so I use this to design, sketch, print, make package forms and all that stuff. So yeah, this is kind of like my space. And then over here is my actual living room. And MTV Cribs, no, I was kidding. And but this is like one of my designs from last year. This is just a sample, so it's not like the actual thing. But this is one of my designs from last year that I had in Houston. And then I have another bad boy, my original design over here. So I usually change out my mannequins to depend on how I'm feeling. I've been doing a lot of sparkles lately, so I wanted to put up something sparkly. And I actually made this for Erica Banks. I'm her stylist. She's a rapper here in Dallas. Super talented. And yeah, so this is like a new top I made. And then this is like my original blazer jacket that I made like 4 years ago. It's still holding on. It's fringe, and it's actually a dress or a jacket. Like you could just put a belt around it and switch it up. But yeah, so this is kind of like my creative space. I try to keep mannequins. I have actually 3 of them. This is actually Pam. They all have names. This is Pam. That's Gigi. And then my other girl Kiki is in the closet because she's broken. So Pam, Gigi, Kiki. All right, and that's it. Let's get started. At first, it was just for me and my daughter. She is 3, about to be 4 in May. And she, you know, with everything going on, I tried to get us like regular looking masks, and she kept throwing it away or hiding it, and she didn't want to put it on. So I was like, okay, what can I do to make her put this on? And so every time I'm sewing with sparkly fabric, she's always coming in and putting it on her head or taking it for blankets for her dolls. So I was like, okay, she likes sparkle fabrics. Let me, you know, make me and her one. Just a sparkly one, and it was kind of trash. Like it wasn't even that good. Like I just threw it together and posted a picture on Instagram, and then it went like it blew up. So from there I was getting DMs after DMs after DMs. So I started like making the mask, and I was like, what can I call these? Because these are really cute, and I don't really see a lot of people doing it. At the time, a lot of people weren't making masks. So at least from the designers around the DFW Metroplex, I didn't really see anybody doing masks. So I just came up with style masks because I feel like you can still be stylish, you can still be safe, but I don't want to look like everyone else, if that makes sense. I kind of want to have my own thing because I'm a millennial, so it's like we don't want to be like anybody else. And I just want others to feel good in this kind of like perilous times, because we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and you might as well live today. So I'm dropping these today, and then I keep all my materials for the other mask though over here. And today we're going to make you a black sparkly mask. This one's called Midnight. I just come up with the names like randomly, basically. Yeah, whatever fits my personality. And so I guess we can get started with the tutorial. Alright, so basically when it came to these masks, I really didn't know how to make masks. Basically, like, people started wanting to order, and I was just like, I'm not even making these for real. So at that time too, Joann's and like YouTubers, not a lot of people were actually giving templates and patterns on how to make masks. So the reason why mine's look so different is because I actually sat down, I drafted it out. So I'm a pattern maker too. So I literally took my face and then measured it around and kind of like played with it a little bit. And I had like 4 or 5 different designs before it became, this is like the template. So for designers, you don't always have to go with what other people are doing. A lot of people are doing like the 3 like fold masks. You really don't have to do that. It's your design, like your thing. So I think this makes me set apart for sure because no one else is just creating their own. Basically, I took it off of my face and made it a pattern. Anyway, so yeah. And so for my mask, what I do is I have the actual outside layer. And then I use muslin cotton because it's 100% cotton and it's really good as a filter. And then I also use another 100% cotton fabric. I usually use black because, especially if you're wearing lipstick, lip gloss, it can get really dirty really easy. And so yeah, so it's 3 layers, 1, 2, 3. And the whole purpose for masks, what I tell people is that these are not to stop coronavirus. These are basically for you to keep your particles to yourself. And if someone happens to sneeze, spit around you, it's supposed to keep it away from you in your mouth, in your area. It's not something where you go into surgery doing this. Like, it wouldn't make sense for you to wear this doing surgery, just because it's not an N95 mask. So these are just really fun to wear. They do protect you, but it's not something where it's 100% guaranteed against corona. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. So okay. And this is how, I don't know if you saw that I chopped off my thumb. It's healed now, but I'll send you guys a picture. I chopped off my thumb, so like the tip of it, it was real nasty. I'm really clumsy, so actually these fell off my desk one time and like stabbed me in my leg. So you gotta be really careful. And then I have a 3-year-old, so I try to hang everything up so she can't get to it. But yeah. I actually want to start my own nonprofit in the future for single moms because I'm a single mom, of course. So for this, I was making masks and it was just going so fast because I really didn't know what was really going on. Like, I didn't know that the United States was out of masks. I didn't know that, you know, hospitals were running out and stuff. So I was just doing this just for fun, just like as a side hustle, like a hobby. And then I realized like people start sending me articles and articles and articles that like we're completely out of masks. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm selling masks. Yes, it's helping, you know, provide for me and my family, definitely, because I don't have a job anymore. But at the same time, it's like I have to think about others too. Yeah. So basically, what we do is put the pattern on top, and then sorry, my nails are done. Quarantine. I pin it down. You don't have to, but I'm gonna just do it for you guys so you can see. Okay. So now I'm using the blade to go around it, and this is easier than using those big scissors because you see how just smooth that was. It goes quicker that way. And a lot of times I'm having a lot of orders, so I don't have time to sit and cut each and every layer. So yeah, but that's how I got my thumb. I was like, ooh. This is just, oh, it's a rotary blade. I was gonna say Fiskars, but no, that's the actual brand. But no, it's called a rotary blade. And actually my boss, I don't know if you know who Vinny ATNA is. He's a really big designer out here, and so I was his intern for about 6 or 7 months, and he has a lot of these, and so he got me hooked on these. And he actually has a machine too, almost like a saw, and you can actually like use the saw and cut out fabrics, and that's how manufacturers get all those like layers out quickly because they don't have time to sit there and cut each and everything out. So now what we do is I put the muslin in between, that way you can't see it. So most people don't even know that this is on the inside of their mask. Like that. I put the outer layer on top, so it's 3 layers. And it's okay if it's like has a little bit around because we'll cut it off. And then I go to my machine, and so I'm using it over here because I want to use the big cone. But I put it on 1. And then I put it on about 3.5, and that's just because there's so many layers. I don't want it to be too tight just in case I mess up. So I put it under here. And now if you're a beginner, I probably would say to use pins, but not to say I'm a pro, but I've been doing this for a while. So now I'm just sewing. And actually, let's do 4.5. Because basically this is just the stitch to hold it all together. It's not the actual stitch. They actually call it a basting stitch. And it basically keeps all your layers together while you're doing other stuff. So you don't have to do it all the way around because now we're going to use the bias tape. So that was another thing too that a lot of designers I haven't been seeing is the bias tape. I think it just gives it like a clean finish. So that's why I use it. So it looks like this. And I use 1 inch double fold. Wide, I should say, double fold. And then now, my bad, I'm moving fast. So you take the bias tape, you put it, like you're gonna sandwich the fabric in, and then you're gonna stitch, like you're gonna do an edge stitch at the bottom. So for me, I put it right here, like that. And basically you're just gonna sandwich the whole thing like an Oreo cookie, basically. And then you have a super clean finish. And now I need my scissors because these are kind of thick. Oh yeah, and by the way too, I wash all my materials before I use them. And then I like spray disinfectant on it before I ship it off. So I try to be as clean as I can. So now you have the top and bottom. We flip it over and we make sure it's good. No muslin or anything is showing. Beautiful. So now, what we're gonna do, you're gonna fold the top of it, and actually I cut it so, I cut it like this at an angle, like a triangle almost, and that way when you fold it, you can fold it in, that way it won't show on the sides. And then what you're gonna do now is basically you don't want any raw edges at all, so I do the same thing, but this time there's a folded edge at the top and the bottom, like that. So you're gonna fold, so you see it gives it like a clean finish, there's no raw edges, and you're basically concealing everything in. And then you do the same thing, an edge stitch. Oh wait, hold on. Do it on the outer edge, because if you do it on this edge, sometimes you do it better on the front than you do the back, and so your front will be looking weird. So I usually sew right on top. And then now for the bottom, you do the same thing. So just cut up a triangle like diagonally, and then you're gonna fold it up, put that on top, and then sandwich it back in. So this is what it looks like. Yay! Okay, last thing, because obviously it doesn't float on your face, you gotta put the elastic. So usually I use a 1/2 inch, but right now we're literally everywhere there is no elastic. Like you can't find it anywhere, seriously. So I found these at this kind of like manufacturing thing in Dallas, but usually I would use like 1/4 or 1/2. I think this is like 1/8. Fold the bottom like that so it's not showing any raw edges. You just gotta be really careful because it's really small. And then we're gonna put it underneath, and basically the placement where I do it, you don't want to put it right here and here, because since this dips down here, it causes the whole mass to dip. So I usually do it maybe about a 1/2 inch up and a 1/2 inch like up on both sides, if that makes sense. So I put it underneath. Be careful, don't get your finger stuck under the needle. And then I just stitch over it a couple times just to make sure it's secure, and then I cut it off. So that takes like 2 seconds, literally. So in all, I think it takes maybe 10 minutes to do each one, because these were already cut out. But if you have to sit there, cut out each piece and everything, I would say 10 minutes for each. And so far my record, because I'm trying to like challenge myself, I've done 13 in 1 hour. And then a lot of times too, I'm a perfectionist, so I don't want it to look any old kind of way. Okay, so last part. And voila! Yay! Thank you guys for watching, and tune in and watch on Sunday.